Ovid's Metamorphoses, written around 10 CE, is the main source for the story of Narcissus and Echo. Narcissus had a fateful connection with water. His father was a river god, and his mother was a water nymph. A nymph in classical Greece and Rome was a beautiful girl of the land, or a nature princess. Echo was a mountain nymph, and she was punished by Juno, the wife of Jupiter, for something related to the king of the gods. Juno was rightfully suspicious of her husband at all times. Anyway, Juno took away Echo's ability to speak first. She could not start a conversation. Here is the tragedy of Echo meeting Narcissus. I recommend you look at the vocabulary in the description before you continue.
Now, when Echo saw Narcissus wandering through the remote fields, she was inflamed, following him secretly, and the more she followed, the closer she burned with fire, no differently than inflammable sulfur, pasted round the tops of torches, catches fire when a flame is brought near it. Oh, how often she wants to get close to him with seductive words and call him with soft entreaties. Her nature denies it and will not let her begin, but she is ready for what it will allow her to do, to wait for sounds to which she can return words. By chance, the boy, separated from his faithful band of followers, had called out, "Is anyone here?" And "Here," Echo replied. He is astonished and glances everywhere and shouts in a loud voice, "Come to me!" She calls as he calls. He looks back, and no one appearing behind, asks, "Why do you run from me?" and receives the same words as he speaks. He stands still, and, deceived by the likeness to an answering voice, says, "Here, let us meet together." And, never answering to a sound more gladly, Echo replies, "Together," and to assist her words comes out of the woods to put her arms around his neck in longing. He runs from her, and running, cries, "Away with these encircling hands! May I die before what's mine is yours." She answers only, "What's mine is yours." Scorned, she wanders in the woods and hides her face in shame among the leaves, and from that time on lives in lonely caves. But still her love endures, increased by the sadness of rejection. Her sleepless thoughts waste her sad form, and her body's strength vanishes into the air. Only her bones and the sound of her voice are left. Her voice remains, her bones, they say, were changed to shapes of stone. She hides in the woods, no longer to be seen on the hills, but to be heard by everyone. It is sound that lives in her. As Narcissus had scorned her, so he had scorned the other nymphs of the rivers and the mountains. So he had scorned the companies of young men. Then one of those who had been mocked, lifting hands to the skies, said, "So may he himself love, and so may he fail to command what he loves." The goddess Nemesis heard this just request. There was an unclouded fountain with silver bright water, which neither shepherds nor goats grazing the hills, nor other flocks touched, that no animal or bird disturbed, not even a branch falling from a tree. Grass was around it, fed by the moisture nearby, and a grove of trees that prevented the sun from warming the place. Here the boy, tired by the heat and his enthusiasm for the chase, lies down, drawn to it by its look and by the fountain. While he desires to quench his thirst, a different thirst is created. While he drinks, he is seized by the vision of his reflected form. He loves a bodiless dream. He thinks that a body? That is only a shadow. He is astonished by himself, and hangs there motionless, with a fixed expression, like a statue carved from Parian marble. Flat on the ground, he contemplates two stars, his eyes, and his hair, fit for Dionysus, fit for Apollo, his youthful cheeks and ivory neck, the beauty of his face, the rose flush mingled in the whiteness of snow, admiring everything for which he is himself admired. Unknowingly, he desires himself, and the one who praises is himself praised, and, while he courts, is courted, so that equally he inflames and burns. How often he gave his lips in vain to the deceptive pool! How often, trying to embrace the neck he could see, he plunged his arms into the water, but could not catch himself within them. What he has seen he does not understand, but what he sees he is on fire for, and the same error both seduces and deceives his eyes. Fool, why try to catch a fleeting image? In vain. What you search for is nowhere. Turning away, what you love is lost. What you perceive is the shadow of reflected form. Nothing of you is in it. It comes and stays with you and leaves with you, if you can leave. No care for bread or for rest can draw him away. Stretched on the shadowed grass, he gazes at that false image with unsated eyes, and loses himself in his own vision. Raising himself a little way and holding his arms out to the woods, he asks, "Has anyone ever loved more cruelly than I? You must know, since you have been a chance hiding place for many people. Do you remember in your life that lasts so many centuries, in all the long ages past, anyone who pined away like this? I am enchanted and I see, but I cannot reach what I see and what enchants me. And it increases my pain the more that no wide sea separates us, no road, no mountains, no walls locked with doors. We are only kept apart by a little water. Whenever I extend my lips to the clear liquid, he tries to raise his lips to me. He desires to be held. You would think he could be touched. It is such a small thing that prevents our love. Whoever you are, come out to me. Why do you disappoint me, you extraordinary boy? Where do you vanish when I reach for you? Surely my form and years are not what you flee from. I am the one that the nymphs have loved. You offer me some unknown hope with your friendly look, and when I stretch my arms out to you, you stretch out yours. When I smile, you smile back, and I have often seen your tears when I weep tears. You return the gesture of my head with a nod, and from the movements of your lovely mouth. I guess that you reply with words that do not reach my ears. I am he. I am he. I sense it, and I am not deceived by my own image. I am burning with love for myself. I move and bear the flames. What shall I do? Surely not court and be courted. Why court then? What I want I have. My riches make me poor. Oh, I wish I could leave my own body. Strange prayer for a lover. I desire what I love to be distant from me. Now sadness takes away my strength. Not much time is left to me to live, and I am cut off in the prime of my youth. Nor is dying painful to me, laying down my sadness in death. I wish that him I love might live on, but now we shall die united, two in one spirit. He spoke, and returned madly to the same reflection, and his tears stirred the water, and the image became obscured in the rippling pool. As he saw it vanishing, he cried out, "Where do you fly to? Stay, cruel one! Do not abandon one who loves you! I am allowed to gaze at what I cannot touch, and so provide food for my miserable passion." While he weeps, he tears at the top of his clothes, then strikes his naked chest with hands of marble. His chest flushes red when they strike it, as apples are often pale in part red, or as grapes in their different bunches are stained with purple when they are not yet ripe. As he sees all this reflected in the dissolving waves, he can bear it no longer, but as yellow wax melts in a light flame, as morning frost thaws in the sun, so he is weakened and melted by love, and worn away little by little by the hidden fire. He no longer retains his color, the white mingled with red, no longer has life and strength, and that form so pleasing to look at, nor has he that body which Echo loved. Still, when she saw this, though angered and remembering, she pitied him, and as often as the poor boy said, "Alas!" she repeated with her echoing voice, "Alas!" And when his hands strike at his shoulders, she returns the same sounds of pain. His last words as he looked into the familiar pool were, "Alas! In vain, beloved boy." And the place echoed every word, and when he said good-bye, Echo also said good-bye. He laid down his weary head in the green grass, death closing those eyes that had marveled at their Lord's beauty. And even when he had been received into the house of shadows, he gazed into the Stygian waters. His river nymph sisters lamented, and let down their hair for their brother, and the tree nymphs lamented. Echo, the mountain nymph, returned their laments. And now they were preparing the funeral pyre, the quivering torches and the bier, but there was no body. They came upon a flower instead of his body, with white petals surrounding a yellow heart.